Why do you want them to listen to your podcast?
So that when they think about starting a business, they've got the content that is pointing them in the right direction.
That is such a valuable piece of advice there.
The change in mindset makes a massive difference.
Welcome to Aussie Lawn Stars.
Are you thinking of leaving your job to start a profitable and enjoyable lawn and garden business? Aussie Lawn Stars shares stories, lessons and advice to help you grow a healthy, productive, efficient and sustainable business. Got questions or want more information? Contact Aussie Lawn Stars at iCloud.com or reach out to Gary Ashton on Facebook or Messenger for personal help. But beware, your question may end up in a podcast episode. For business coaching that ensures the right mindset and decision-making approach, check out Think Tank Coaching. Their website is https://thinktankcoaching.com.au. They've been instrumental in helping me and can guide you towards achieving your business goals. You can also email them at thinktankcoaching@outlook.com. Need to set up best practices for bookkeeping, accounting and business structure? Contact Adrian from Prosper Financial at 02 4977 3363. And don't forget to join Lawn Mowing Contractors Australia and Australian Professional Lawn Contractors Facebook groups. Great supportive communities focused on our industry.
Hey Kyle, how you doing, buddy?
Good mate, how you going?
I've come down to Wollongong, sitting around Shell Harbour, having a bit of fun, and gave you a call. Thought it'd be good to catch up.
It's always good to catch up.
We've spent like 2 hours talking. We didn't record it.
Yeah, too busy flapping our gums.
I'm going to try and sneak back down my motorbike one day and might see if I can actually get more footage of you on the beast. And if I flick the camera around, then it won't look at our faces anymore. We can do what we want behind the camera.
Oh, daddy.
You're going to get this machine off the trailer for us and we'll have a bit of fun, hey?
Yeah, sounds good.
But yeah, I'm going to need to come back again, I think, because we just spent 2 hours talking.
Yeah, might actually do a job next time, not just sit there
Without
talking.
recording. Well, I think we need to go to the hill where you've got the monks climbing up the hill all the time and see if we can get some nice footage there.
Well, if they get me back, I'm casual there now rather than being scheduled. So
yeah,
when the company who does it doesn't have time, they give me a call. So
there's a lot of nice places around here we can do.
Yeah, I got shitloads of nice properties.
Yeah.
These flies. Just go for a lap.
Let's go for it.
Not bad.
It comes up pretty sweet. That's a swing back around and have a look at that.
I probably should have lifted it up off 2.5 inches because I normally cut it at 4. So
yeah, so it bogged down a little bit, 2.5 inches, but it's a single pass and it's a clean cut.
fairly clean. Got about 30 hours on the blades too. No sharpening.
Yeah, that's the way I run them. I don't sharpen blades.
Yeah, no.
Run them, replace them.
Yeah, one day.
But yeah, that's phenomenal. So we're going to spin back around so we're looking at you for a minute. We got you standing in front of this. So this is the Wright ZXT with the tweels on, the dual tweels. 40 horsepower, 72-inch machine. Got a bit of suspension in the seat.
It does. It's very nice and comfortable. It's got 2 adjustable parts, so you can chuck your weight in here, and then
Yeah. So what he means by that is you actually set the weight according to how heavy your ass is.
that's the one. And then you got like the height, basically spring selector or whatever down here. So if you're a larger human, you can dial it up. If you're smaller, you can swizzle it around.
Okay, yeah, so that changes the spring tension.
Yeah, basically.
Cool.
Basically changes the comfort of the ride and stuff.
So this thing, it looks kind of like a Stander in the Wright market, but it's been sit down. It's got a couple of things in different place. They got the engine at the back, so it's not going to catch on fire. Got the beautiful oil cooler system there.
It's called Oil Guard. So,
Oil guard. So
yeah,
basically, it's looking after your oil a whole lot more than a standard engine.
it is. I think you've got double the capacity, and you can get 500 hours per service versus the 100-hour service that's usually
I'd
recommended.
be a little bit nervous about running it to the full 500.
I don't know if I'll do the full 500, but I'm actually going to get it looked over every 150 to 200 hours because I'm pretty rough on everything. So.
Yeah. Well, with the standard Vanguard 37 horse engine, I'm doing a 50-hour oil change and a 100 oil and filter.
Yeah, so that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
There's nothing beats having good clean oil. Like the whole machine just runs so much nicer. But
Yeah, and this keeps it clean.
yeah, definitely. I feel like this hasn't deteriorated in any way. Like sometimes over like 100 hours, you can tell that the machine needs a service. But yeah, this still feels great.
Yeah. It certainly looks like everything about the machine still looks like it's in top condition. It's looking pretty sweet. Got
I've got nearly 180 hours on it now.
180 hours, yeah.
In about 4 months. So.
That's not quite as much as I've got on the ZK61.
How long you had that for though?
It's got 230 or 240 hours.
Yeah,
on
nice.
it now.
Yeah, that's good.
So I find most operators that are doing a mix are probably lucky to do 150 hours in a year.
Yeah.
So I tend to push a little bit higher, somewhere around the 200 hours a year or more.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'd say I'm around 500 hours a year on the mower, but I do a lot of like clearing work and hedging and stuff like that through winter. So even though it'll still get 5 to 10 hours a week of use through winter, it's definitely a lot more through summer and stuff like that.
Yeah, so 500 odd a year.
Yeah, that averages 10 hours a week.
So given some of the numbers I hear on LMCA, one person sprouted numbers that were around 1,000 hours a year is about as much work as you can physically do as a solo operator. And I know there's variations
on the mower.
No, just full on normal hours is like most people are going to cap out at about 1,000 hours of labour by the time they travel and do their bookkeeping and their maintenance and everything else. Like an employee on the books is around 2,000 hours a year.
Yeah,
so they're saying about
that.
half of that is what you'll get as a solo person.
Yeah, that might be more for people that travel between jobs a lot more though, because I do 3 or 4 big jobs a day or one sort of thing. So
yeah, because you're on the mower for a few hours at a time, not on the mower for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I found doing residential jobs. You could be on the mower for 5 to 15 minutes, and then the whole job might be 25 to 40 minutes. Yeah,
whippersnip and blow and
Yeah,
no, I totally agree. Quite often I try and do all my travel outside of business hours, so like start and finish of the day. But I've been on the machine for 10 hours at a time in a day. So
this is a long way from our first interview.
Yeah, it's funny because we were talking about what mower I should buy, the Cub Cadet or the 72 ZK. So
and
we all know where we went that way.
You made the right choice.
Oh yeah, definitely. I actually did a demo with the Cub Cadet, and it was a great machine, but I just feel like the grass handling capabilities weren't anywhere close to what this is. Like if you were going at a bit of speed, it just wouldn't cut it. So I feel like that's more a slow and steady type of thing.
Would
and
it be fair to say that
slow
the
and steady
Cub
person.
has a better traction on the steep slopes?
Yeah, it definitely does.
But not by a huge amount though, because the Stander...
There's only a certain amount that you can do with a mower anyway, and I feel like the Cub Cadet has more stability. So like
Yes.
you can turn on the dime on the side of a real steep slope sort of thing. Whereas if you do that with this, you'll probably slide and move around. Whereas the Cub
Yeah.
Cadet will just turn on the spot.
How do you find this compared to the ZK? Because this is sit down. The ZK standing up, you can move your body around a bit. A little
Yeah,
bit
so
smaller platform.
I've literally had to relearn how to mow with it. It's a completely different thing. Like the tyres are super aggressive and they're great for really big hills and stuff like that, and not having punctures. That's great. But then it's just a different feeling to the stander. Like you can basically go like that on a hill with this and do a much steeper slope or section than the stander, but then the agility of the stander with the softer tread pattern wheels I'll get a lot more done in the same amount of time. Whereas this, it is a slow and steady to a degree, and I feel like it's a comfort thing being strapped to the machine on a big hill. I don't want to lose it.
Are you wearing the seatbelt?
Yeah, I know. I always wear the seatbelt on the hills because there's a good chance it'll roll. If I roll, I don't want to get flung out and then crushed or something like that. Like on the hills, I'm always wearing the seatbelt. It's uncomfortable being on the mower, but like at the same thing, it's like I have to do it, so I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, I know most people riding on a sit-down zero turn will never use a seatbelt.
Yeah, no, the properties I have, unfortunately, there's no chance of not having the seatbelt. Like,
fair.
I'll probably put it on when the slope's about 20 degrees, so that's probably more than what I should be doing, but
you're not comfortable doing it without it
after that. No, I'm not comfortable. And like some properties, like it might only be a 15 degree slope, but it's down and to the right as well, so it's like a awkward movement. And I'm
very familiar with that sort of an environment, and the how stable you might feel, and then you get to that point where you're like, oh, things could go pear-shaped if I'm not
and like
myself.
There's so many different variables as well. Like even a stick on a slope, like it can make one wheel spin, and then you'll lose that little bit of traction, and it'll change your path and stuff like that. Yeah. To a degree where like you might have to reassess, you go back, realign, that sort of thing. Rocks can be a problem because the wheel just completely loses traction on rocks. Like it's not like a pneumatic tyre where it will press around it sort of thing. It's kind of a like harder, flatter surface, so it doesn't like grip on that some surfaces as well. But the stander is, they're just two completely different machines. They're both great and both have their perks, but I feel like the stander is more, I don't know, it just feels safer and more comfortable on the hills. Aside from like death gripping the machine to like when you're going up a steep slope, you're kind of like hanging on for dear life. Whereas this, like if it's steep, my feet start going like this on the deck, and it's like when my feet are waving above the deck, like the platform, I'm like, oh, maybe I should be a bit more careful. And like the wheel pump motors are so powerful. If you're in that situation and you accelerate too much, it will like lift it off a little bit. So your stander, you started with pneumatic tyres. Yes.
You went to wheels after a while.
I had a lot of punctures. Even this area, like it's got lots of rocks, sticks, glass bottles, all sorts of stuff. There's even building debris here and there because people just dump stuff everywhere. Like,
it's frustrating on an open space like this, isn't it? The amount of stuff that people will dump.
And unfortunately, I do. Not unfortunately, I do really nice properties as well as really rough ones. So I have to take this cut quality from a shitty slashing job and go and do a wedding venue with it, sort of thing. So I want to be able to have that consistency of cut and not have to be checking the deck, don't want to check the pitch, check the tyres, everything like that. Like with the wheels, it's just, it is what it is and it'll stay like that. Like having a puncture, I can drop an inch on one side, and if I've dropped an inch and then I go mow a wedding venue with it and there's like scalp lines up and down, it's just, I reckon I lost about 15 days of broken work through punctures and other issues associated with the tyres.
You would have had had it down to a T, trying to repair a puncture, blow the tyre back up, get back on the road.
It wasn't even that easy because like quite often like the inner one would puncture and then I'd have to get the mower up and like take the external wheel off and the hub and everything like that. So it's like it's
with
just
dual
really
wheels, that
inconvenient.
brings an extra complexity.
Yeah, it does. So the hub extender's great, but then like you got to have the right extension socket and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So it can be inconvenient, but
Yep.
the two wheels are just worth every cent.
Easy.
Yeah, just don't
Me-
have to worry about it.
Interesting to see the lifespan that you get out of a set of twheels too, when you give them.
From what I've read, it's supposed to be about 3,000 hours, so they'll probably outlast the machine. But
I found pneumatic tyres. I'm lucky to do 500 hours.
it depends what conditions you're in. Like paddocks and stuff, you should be sweet for a lot more. But like
Yeah.
if you're in an urban environment with concrete and asphalt and stuff like that, you'll wear out.
When you
much,
got
much quicker.
employees, they like turning on the concrete or the tar
Yeah.
more than they turn on the grass too, which
Well,
it
leaves
makes sense.
less mark on the lawn. I understand
Yeah,
that, but I try and avoid it because I'm a tight ass and don't want to waste money just by turning in the wrong spot.
But it also leaves marks on the concrete. If you see a footpath where the zero turn's been turning on the concrete the whole time and it's just got grass and black marks on the concrete, people don't like that.
Oh, well, these do as well. Like even a hard turn, like not even a turn on the spot, like you can see where it's moving because it is a much heavier machine than the last one and all that as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I love this machine and it's great. I just prefer standing. I've got about 1,000 hours on a stander versus about 300 on sit down machines, and I just much prefer standing. Sorry.
Standing, me too. Well, Kyle, we have spent all morning chatting.
Yes,
I'm getting
been good.
hungry.
I am also hungry, and my wife is hungry.
I heard murmurings that your wife and my wife are both wanting us to sort of pull the pin on this and
Yes.
go and help them find food.
Yes.
You know, do some foraging.
One may have already found it because she's like, no, I'm not waiting that long, sorry.
It's good to talk to you.
Yeah, you too, mate.
And we need to try and catch up for a proper, decent length interview sometime soon,
definitely.
I think.
Yeah, sounds good, mate. Keen.
Very good.
Efficiency is the thing that rules a business and the decisions you make as a small business owner. Wright Mowers give you the options in their product lineup to match efficiency with size, fuel usage and the type of jobs you want to target, from catching to mulching or side discharge, from roadside verges to acreages and manicured lawns to 6 feet tall and super long. I've been using the Wright Stander I 42-inch with a Catch Pro for manicured areas and the Stander ZK61 to maximise productivity for large open acreage mowing. If you need to replace your push mower, try the 32-inch Stander B. If you have more open access to residential properties, there's a 42 through 48-inch option that suits you. And if you want to enter the acreage market, the 52, 61 and 72-inch machines have choices in engine size and model type to suit the work you want it to do. Wright Standards go the distance, saving you time and money, season after season.
Sorry, so release it by kicking the bottom part. So Gary's forgotten to put the deck down, which everyone does when they're playing with a new machine. How'd you find it?
Awesome. Goes well.
A little bit
If I
different.
learned to drop the deck before I started, it helped.
Don't worry, I mentioned it.
Thank you for listening to Aussie Lawn Stars. Please remember to rate and review the show on the Apple Podcasts app or the player you use. Exciting new shows are released every Monday. Make sure you follow or subscribe to hear the next episode.